What is up, and I welcome each and every one of you back to a brand new Civ 6 Deity video. Today we're going to be talking about one tip for every leader in Civ 6 or Civilization 6. These tips are going to be sort of under the radar, unrelated. You probably haven't heard of most of them, although if you do play this game all the time, that you may know some of them, but I highly doubt that a lot of you even know half of these tips that I'm about to share. But yeah, this is really for new and old players, different tips you can use. If there aren't any new tips for any civilization, then I'm just going to give like a sort of quick brief rundown of a strategy I found that really has worked for a lot of them. But it's pretty much it. Without further ado, let's get started with number one, Macedon. It is more worth it to build units than to build a campus and a library. Do not build campuses until you get universities. If you need science, which you probably do, just keep spamming out units. If you have to delete them because you're not making enough money, delete them. But trust me, spamming out your piss is a lot better than just building a campus and a library, especially when you have the a gauche policy card. That makes it so much more worth it to get science from spamming out units, obviously after you get your unique encampment district building. Next up, a Minotaur. I really didn't find any sort of thing for a Minotaur. This is probably the one strategy you already know. The Patati archers are technically cheaper than the regular archer due to her unique ability, the 30% production towards ranged units, and it's pretty much it. There isn't anything about the Civ. Let me know down below in the comments if there is a tip about a Minotaur that you know about that I don't, apparently. But yeah, there really isn't anything that's too crazy about a Minotaur. After that, we got Ambiorix. With Ambiorix, the best strategy for him I found, spam military units, right? Your civilization gains culture equal to 20% of the unit's cost until you get political philosophy, and by the time you get political philosophy, you should already have your man-at-arms by rushing the oppidum and ironworking, getting the first building for free, and getting apprenticeship unlocked, allowing you to upgrade your warriors straight into man-at-arms. Having political philosophy means it is already GG. You're going to be like man-at-arms turn 50 with political philosophy. It's just game over at that point. After that, we got Vietnam. The unique ability for Vietnam is fortifying in marsh in your territory is unstoppable. It's -3 combat strength usually, and it's a bad place to fortify in marsh. But with the 10 combat strength and the movement speed you're going to be getting, keeping a few units fortified in the marsh is going to be amazing, especially on the wetlands map. And with Vietnam especially, you probably only need 2 to 3 units total, as well as an archer in the city, to defend any sort of attack, considering the massive combat strength bonuses you get when fortifying in these rough terrains. After that, we got Basil. The thing about Basil is there is a bug. I've run into it in my last game. Somebody told me about it in the comments. When you go and kill a unit, you will convert nearby cities to your religion. However, if it is an undiscovered city in the fog of war, and then you go to unlock the city, you go to discover the city, it'll show that it doesn't follow your religion, which is a bug. It does follow your religion, but it will show that it follows no religion. You still get the combat strength bonus against that city. It's just a visual bug. After that, we got Catherine de Medici. I'm gonna give one tip for it's really only worth it for Black Queen. It is once you get computers, all you need is a delegation to unlock the secret diplomatic visibility level of all enemy civilizations. This will allow you to see how long it takes for an enemy civ to finish off a wonder, which could be very helpful if you're going for a culture victory. Speaking of culture victories, though, the Grand Tour actually gets double tourism for wonders from any era, so spamming out ancient era wonders is a lot more worth it to Catherine than it is for everybody else. So maybe going for wonders nobody really builds, like the Hanging Gardens, or maybe even Etimananki, I guess, during the right kind of map, or something like the Colossus, or something like the Mausoleum in a Pangea type of map will give you a lot more tourism than you can ever hope to have with any other wonder. And before we continue, if you have enjoyed, don't forget to like and subscribe. Definitely helps me out a ton. We are going to be streaming tomorrow on twitch.tv/thecivlifer1. And let me know down below exactly what tips you have for some civs, or some secret strategies you have for different civs that I might make a video about in the future. And yeah, let's continue with India. I'm going to give this tip for just India in general. Have each city follow one specific religion in the game, and then have an army of apostles and missionaries around those cities so that you can go around and make sure each one of your cities follows at least one follower from every religion in the game. So if there's 5 religions, have 5 cities all following different religions, get an army of apostles and missionaries, and make sure that each of your cities has at least one follower so you can get a lot of bonuses from a lot of different religions. After that, Cleopatra's ability, the Sphinx adjacency bonus for adjacent wonders, actually works for enemy wonders as well. So it's not just your own wonders. The ability is 2 faith if next to a wonder. So putting a Sphinx next to a wonder that's on the periphery of your empire will still give you the +2 faith, even if it is an enemy wonder, not your own. Finally, Cyrus, there are so many trade route policy cards in the game. Getting collectivism and triangular trade will make your internal trade routes almost unstoppable with the 2 golden culture you automatically get, plus the extra food and production you usually get for internal trade routes. Add that in with collectivism's bonuses, and having all your trade routes in maybe one city with the Satrapies ability will make Cyrus one of the strongest cities in the entire game. Absolutely insane. After that, we got Dido. Dido's unique ability is always keep settlers embarked. The reason for that is pretty simple. They get extra movement speed and sight, but even on a Pangea map, if you're going to go ahead and if you're somehow playing a Pangea map with Dido, if you're somehow going ahead and going to settle somewhere else, try to put it in the ocean so that you can see exactly if there's maybe a barbarian in the Fog of War where you're about to settle, just to prevent your settlers from getting stolen. After that, we have Eleanor. I'm not going to give any bonuses because one is for England and one is for France. I'll give the England bonus right now, I guess. You only need 1 iron mine to go for an early rush as any type of England, Eleanor or Victoria. The iron mine accumulates 2 more resources per turn, allowing you to get 4 for 1 iron mine, which is insane, meaning you don't really need a lot to get that ironworking rush going, and making England probably one of the best swordsman rush civs in the entire game. After that, we have Frederick Barbarossa. Frederick's ability is staying permanently at war with the city-state. Now, the reason this ability works is simple. You don't get any sort of grievances when you declare a war in the ancient era, and if you declare a war on 1 or 2 city-states that you really don't need suzerain of, just keep attacking their cities, keep fortifying and getting ranged attack by them, and with any civ, you're going to be able to get +4 promotions very, very easily, especially if you get oligarchy and some sort of experience buffs. And yeah, pretty much by the time the late game comes around and you can get tanks and stuff like that, you will have multiple units with just tier 4 promotions, just monstrous units all around. After that, we got Genghis Khan. We have Mongolia, pretty much really. The thing about Mongolia is that you will lose delegations and embassies when declaring war. So if you're hovering your unit over an enemy unit you're about to declare war on, and you see, you know, maybe a +18 diplomatic visibility combat strength due to your unique ability, know that it will be 2 less if you have an embassy and a delegation in the enemy civ, because when you declare war, you automatically lose both those bonuses. Next up, we got Gilgamesh. With Gilgamesh, it's simple. Get a military alliance and declare war on somebody early on. This is so good because with a military alliance, you're going to be getting 10 combat strength extra when you're attacking their enemy units, and just units, not cities, by the way, but that is still super effective, you know, when dealing with the runaway civ. Ally with the entire world, declare war on someone, pay for someone to join with you on the war, and you could just get like a massive coalition, especially in an emergency. If you get an emergency with Gilgamesh, join the emergency, get other people to join, and then everybody will have the +5 combat strength against that player if you're allied with it, and then you and your military alliance will get +10 combat strength, meaning even if you're up against a runaway civ, it should be more than enough to knock them down 7 or 8 pegs. Next up, we got Gatarja. Gatarja's ability is spam scouts early on. Do not get the skirmisher technology until you have as many scouts as you want. It's simple. With the Zhang, the unique frigate unit, you inherit the escort's movement speed, the formation units inherit the frigate's movement speed, and you get 5 extra combat strength. Scouts are the cheapest unit in the game. Spam them out, put them on Zhangs, and you will be getting a monstrous amount of combat strength in all your Zhangs. Next up, we got Gorgo. The thing about Gorgo is that with hoplites, it is best to go for a hoplite / horseman rush, in my opinion. The reason for that is you're going to be getting 10 combat strength with an adjacent hoplite, which it doesn't have to be like flanking the enemy unit. It just has to be like beside you, even if it is behind you. But getting some horsemen, you are going to be able to get massive flanking bonuses. You know, you surround a unit with 2 horsemen. With the hoplite, you'll even be able to deal with swordsmen with this strategy, considering you'll get 10 combat strength, as well as +4 to 6 with flanking bonuses, which is really, really good. After that, we are going to move on to Hammurabi. With Hammurabi, the thing is going for the secret society Owls of Minerva, because late game, they give you 2 to 3 extra spies. Use those spies in enemy cities. You'll get Eurekas from stealing enemy technologies, and with Babylon, stealing Eurekas means you are going to be getting the entire technology. So essentially, you're going to be stealing whole technologies with maybe 4 to 5 to 6 spies late game, which is absolutely insane. That's like every 10 turns, you're going to get 1 free technology, which is woo! That's amazing. After that, we got Harold Hardrada. The ability with him is to wait for the mid game, get the raiding policy card that gives you a 50% bonus towards pillaging, build a butt ton of melee boats, and then use them to just go around pillaging the entire world. You will get so many of all yields, especially on an archipelago map. You could literally go for a one city Herald challenge, and with this strategy, you'll still probably be able to win a science victory fairly easily. After that, we got Hojo Tokimune of Japan. The thing about Japan is you do want to, this is going to be a strategy, you are going to want to spam theater squares as much as possible for simply to getting the samurai. If you get the samurai earlier by spamming out the theater squares and getting a butt ton of culture, then you will easily be able to blitz everybody with the oligarchy policy government and with the samurai, and you do not suffer combat bonuses when damaged, making it all the more better. And on an archipelago map, the samurai are actually surprisingly effective, considering that they get combat strength in land tiles adjacent to the coast, meaning a samurai getting like one era ahead than usual because of spamming out theater squares and monuments, as well as oligarchy, and the divine wind will make your samurais absolutely disgusting to deal with. After that, we got Poland, the Yerevan strat, get Suzerainty of Yerevan, get the Apostles, select the Martyr promotion, and go ahead and just suicide the Apostles onto enemy religious units, and you will be getting all those relics giving you extra faith, culture, and gold, and spamming out holy sites, encampments, and theater squares to get, well... It's not the best ability in the world, but you could get, I guess you could go for a religious victory this way after you get enough relics. After that, we got Jayavarman the 7th. It is the 7th. I keep calling him the 8th for some reason, but there is one really good strategy. Getting the River Goddess Pantheon, every 2 district amenity pantheon. I forget what that one is called, but it's 1 amenity for every 2 districts. And getting Gurdurwas gives you a massive amount of housing, food, and amenities with just those 3 abilities, giving you the potential to get 20 population before the Renaissance era even comes, before the end of the medieval era, making Jayavarman one of the best tall civs in the entire game. After that, we got Zhao III. Zhao III is a fairly simple ability, Navigation School into Domination Victory. With the Navigation School, you'll have a lot of science, as well as production towards naval units. Use that to beeline the lower text to get the advanced naval units, and then use those naval units you've gotten for much faster, as well as the Great Admiral point from the Navigation School, as well as the Great Scientist point to get your technologies faster, to go for a battleship or missile cruiser destroyer rush, and knocking out every enemy civ in a matter of 50 turns. Next up, we got Australia with John Curtin. The Eiffel Tower Wonder on Australia is probably the best civ to wonder synergy in the entire game. For those of you who don't know, the land down under gives you +3 adjacency in Breathtaking Appeal and +1 in Charming Appeal. With this ability, all your districts are going to at least get the 1 adjacency. Most of them are going to get +3. Plug that in with Rationalism for all your campuses maybe, and you are going to be getting a monstrous amount of science per turn, as well as a easiest culture or science victory in your entire life. I forgot to turn off the Soviet mod, ignore him. Sweden now, with Sweden, the best thing to do is to go for a archaeologist rush, because you automatically get the theming bonus for the archaeological museum. Go beeline archaeologists, spam as many of them as possible. Getting all the theming bonuses as well as all the artifacts means number 1, less hassle, and number 2, a lot more tourism than you would usually get. We've already done Mongolia. I'm going to use China's ability right now, although it really isn't Kublai Khan China. I'm going to skip Kublai Khan. I don't really have an ability for him aside from the Mongolian one that I already said about. We'll get into China's later on. Next up, we have Kupe. With Kupe, you want to go for the Liang Kupe Archipelago Rush. Go ahead, find a spot with as many fish tiles as possible. Get Kupe, use your extra food from fishing boats to get higher population. Build the Mausoleum of Helicarnassus to get a massive amount of science and faith, as well as an extra great engineer charge for later on in the game. And use Liang's fishery improvements to get a monstrous amount of food, housing, production, faith, science, and culture, making Kupe one of the best archipelago civs in the entire game. After that, we are going to go to Lady Six Guy. Lady Six Guy, the best strategy with her is to declare war on somebody, wait for them to move their units to your empire. Declare war on somebody who is a lot stronger than you so that they move their units in, and use your +5 combat strength when defending within 6 tiles of the capital, as well as your Hulchi unique unit to just absolutely decimate them, get a butt ton of promotions, and either go ahead and take out their cities, or get a really, really nice peace deal after completely wiping out their entire military. Now, the Latoro thing is fairly simple. With Latoro, you are going to be going to war with a city-state early on, take out the city-state, and using the Toku unique ability to put a governor in there, getting an encampment in all its buildings will mean you will get 15% extra production, 30% extra combat experience, as well as oligarchy giving you more combat experience, as well as the encampment, barracks, and maybe even armory giving you more combat experience, and that will just give you an insane amount of combat experience. Also, you could put the Kabul city-state in, get suzerainty of them, and you get double experience for battles you initiate. With this strategy, you could literally be getting a promotion every 2 turns when attacking with a unit. It is absolutely insane. Getting Tokui, putting it in a city you've just captured like a city-state, and getting the barracks and armories, as well as oligarchy for extra experience, and the Kabul for initiating combat, getting experience that way, will give you a monstrous amount of experience. After that, we got Mansa Musa. With Mansa Musa, the best strategy with him is to have Reina in the city and getting a Petra capital with as much gold as possible, and then using Reina to buy districts in all your other cities as soon as they can, meaning you will be able to get districts as fast as possible, getting all those buildings in within a matter of seconds. And with Reina and Mansa Musa, you are going to be getting districts so fast that you won't even have, it'll take like 1 turn to get every district you need in a single city. After that, we got Matthias Corvinus. I'm not going to talk about the Himiko strategy. We all know about that. But going for a horseman rush is very good on Hungary. A horseman rush in a continent's map. Hear me out. Use the horseman rush to get 2 to 3 promotions on your horsemen. Upgrade into a black army. Get some levied units to give the extra combat strength. And then in the continent's map, by this time, you should have completely wiped out your own continent's units. And then upgrade into Hussars. Get a couple of alliances in the enemy continent. Maybe even getting 1 suzerain of a city-state, and then move your Hussars to the other continent, levy the city-state's units, and use those guys to get a foothold on the second continent. And then by the time everybody realizes who you are and stops your alliance, you'll be so far ahead and have a nice foothold on the continent, you can easily wipe out with a domination victory that way. Next up, we got Menelik. Menelik's ability is fairly simple. With Menelik, you are going to want to go for New World settings on the advanced setup right over here. This will give you a lot more hills, mountains, and volcanoes, allowing you to make use of your unique ability a lot faster and a lot better. For secret societies, this one is a known ability, I think, but getting the Void Singer secret societies and their second promotion, it's pretty much the Council of Ministers ability, but you don't have to be on a hill for it, making that along with Council of Ministers, which do stack together, a lot better, and you will get so much science and culture, you will easily blow the game open. Now with the Aztecs and Montezuma, the Montezuma's gifts for the Latwani, I'm definitely not pronouncing that right. Luxury resources providing extra military combat strength also works towards religious units. So going for a religious victory as the Aztecs, getting as many luxuries as you can on a large map, for example, will give you a really nice bonus in religious combat. After that, we got Vemba and Zinga. Now, I know this might be cheating a little bit, but it is the same thing as Poland, going for a Yerevan Martyr Rush. Get Yerevan, choose the Martyr promotion, kill all your apostles on enemy units, and you will be getting so many relics that it will just be game over at that point. You're going to be getting all the relics you will really need. Also, maybe go for Void Singers to get the Secret Society thing, the first building, the monument replacement, and using that to put in some of your relics would be really, really good. After that, we got the Incans. The Incans are a very unique strategy. Get the scouts, right? Start spam building scouts, right? Go ahead, explore the map. I know I don't like scouts. Go to war with the city-state, right? Stay fortified against that city-state, or maybe even attack barbarians with the discipline card. Get the I think it's called the Ambusher promotion that gives you 20 extra combat strength, and then upgrade those scouts into the Warcock unique unit, which replaces the Skirmisher, giving you an extra 20 combat strength and 2 range attacks per turn. Potentially, it's just so insanely broken if you can somehow get scouts to the third promotion on the scout promotion tree. Getting a few Warhawks that way will make them one of the best unique units, considering that they have a double attack and also 20 extra combat strength, meaning they essentially one-shot any unit that comes near them, essentially. After that, we got Brazil. Brazil, the Street Carnival gives you, and this is exactly what it gives you, the Great People points, 50% Great Merchant points of what a commercial hub investment would give you, 50% Great Engineer points of what an industrial zone project would give you, and it will give you all the great writer, musician, and artist points that a great Theater Square Festival project will give you. So those are just numbers to, maybe it's not really worth it to go for if you're going for if you want a great engineer or something, it might be worth it to go for the Street Carnival instead of going for the Industrial Zone Logistics, or same thing with the Great Merchant, it might be better to go Street Carnival versus the Great Commercial Hub District Project or whatever it's called. We've already done Greece, let's move on to Russia. With Russia, Apocalypse Mode Secret Society. You're not as Russia, you're not able to build any improvements aside from city-state improvements onto tundra tiles, and because of that, am I recording? I better be okay, I am recording. Because of that, with the Apocalypse Mode and Tier 4 disasters, you will continuously get blizzards. They will damage your districts, but by the late game, all your tundra tiles are going to have such high yields that you are going to be the runaway favorite of the Civ. Not to mention that in a tundra, you'll only really be getting blizzards. You're not going to be getting hurricanes or floods or anything like that. And with blizzards, your units aren't going to receive any damage. And it also works as a deterrent because if someone declares war on you, a couple of blizzards will literally completely wipe out the enemy. It's just insane. After that, we got Philip. It's simple with Philip. Go for the TSL large Earth map. Maybe even use the Yet Not Another Earth map packs mod. Get as big of an Earth map as possible. Go and do a TSL Earth start, and you pick the civs. Make sure you pick all European, Asian, and African civs, leaving the Americas wide open, beeline cartography, and start spam settling America to get your amazing bonuses in another continent. With this strategy, you should be able to colonize almost all of America, and you should be able to absolutely decimate everybody in any victory type you so choose. Finally, next up, we got Poundmaker over here, and with Poundmaker, the doesn't really have any sort of, secret abilities. The only thing I could think of is maybe when you settle a city, forward settle a city, go ahead and put a trader in the city, and send the trade route where you want to pick up the tiles with this unique ability. Use that maybe to make sure that you save money and that the enemy civ cannot pick up any of those tiles. But there really isn't any sort of unique strategy. If you know about one with Poundmaker, let me know down below in the comments. Next up, we got China. China's unique ability is fairly simple if I can find it on my phone that I had. But with China, builders overcharging wonders overflows to the next thing being built. So if you're like 2 turns away from a wonder and you're like, meh, I'll just wait the 2 turns, I'm not going to use another builder charge, use the builder charge so you can get the overflow of production, and you can use that production to build another district a lot faster or another unit a lot faster or anything. The builder charges, when using it against wonders, overflows into the next thing being built, even if that thing isn't a wonder. After that, we are going to move down south back over here. Where is, there it is. We're going to go Robert the Bruce right now. Go ahead and make sure Germany's in the game. In all likelihood, Germany will spawn adjacent to you because I found if you if I pick, what's his name? If I pick Robert the Bruce right now, and I go to advanced setup and I only pick Frederick and nobody else, I find that Frederick will start near me like 90% of the time. He'll obviously go ahead and take out 1 or 2 city-states, and that's from there, it's just free Wars of Liberation. The extra combat production, the extra production you're going to be getting is insane. You don't even have to take him out, quite honestly. Just declare war, make peace, declare war, make peace to get a massive amount of production. After that, we are going to move on to Saladin. Saladin is simple. With the Madrasa, bonus faith equal to the adjacency of the campus district, getting the +3 science from the 3 envoys in a science city-state counts as an adjacency bonus for a campus, and you will be getting bonus faith just by getting 3 envoys in a science city-state. So yeah, it's a pretty nice quick tip to learn. Getting the 3 envoy bonus from a city-state will give bonus science to universities, which translates into bonus faith for Arabia. After that, we got Korea. With Korea, it's simple. Your Siwans, 4 science. 4 science is what you need to unlock the rationalism ability. Don't put any districts near the Siwan. Get the 4 science, and you will have literally rationalism bonus in all your cities, which is a 50% science bonus, which is absolutely insane. Next up, we got Shaka. With Shaka, spam theater squares, getting your armies and corps a lot earlier. Trust me, getting a swordsman corps early on in the game will allow you to blitz through everybody, including if they have crossbowmen and knights. Next up, we got Simon Bolivar. Again, not really any unique strategies. The only thing I can think of is Commandante Generals and Great Generals stack. So getting 10 combat strength from both of them is absolutely insane. Aside from that, there really isn't anything else I can think of. Next up, we got Suleiman. This one's unique. You don't actually need to build Janissaries to get the free promotion. Instead of just building them, you can upgrade them. They'll be cheaper to upgrade because their production's a lot lower than a musketman. And even if you have 3 promotions on, like, let's say a man-at-arms, upgrading it into a Janissary will still give it the extra free promotion, meaning if you go for a Swordsman Rush and then upgrade them into Janissaries, you will be able to just get a massively promoted and a quick army as soon as possible, and you can just go ahead and conquer the world that way. Next up, we got Tamar. Raging Barbarians and Monumentality. Getting the Raging Barbarians mod. There's a mod that makes Barbarians spawn a lot more units. Kill them, get butt tons of faith, use that faith to get Monumentality, get a Golden Age, and if you could string together a classical and a medieval era Golden Age, you will be able to use your faith to get as many cities as you damn please. You might even get 20 cities by turn 10 if you're lucky enough. Next up, we got America. I only have one for the Rough Rider ability. The Roosevelt Corollary works on the home continent. It doesn't work on ocean tiles, we know that, but it works on where the combat is taking place. So if you're getting a frigate for defense or something like that, or using a frigate to attack a city on your home continent, you will still be getting the extra combat bonus if you're just bombarding land units or bombarding cities on the continent, your home continent, with ranged naval units. Next up, we got Tamiris. With Tamiris, the ability is, again, fairly simple. Killer of Cyrus works actually with your missionaries and apostles. Use the Kurgans, get a butt ton of missionaries and apostles. You're going to be healing after killing an enemy religious unit, which is really good, and making her one of the best religious civs in the entire game. After that, we got Rome. Roman legions can repair tiles infinitely, so keeping 1 or 2 legions in your empire throughout the entire game will allow you to save production on getting builders to repair after natural disasters or enemies pillaging. Just use the legions to repair those tiles. Next up, we got England. We already talked about England. Getting extra iron means you get a massive bonus towards early conquest. Wilfrid Laurier of Canada. This is very, very good. Put Apocalypse mode on and put in as many militaristic city-states as you can. Not city-states, civilizations. Put as many aggressive city-states as you can. They can't declare war on you without denouncing you, and you're going to be able to see that coming. Plus, being in the tundra, they're probably not going to declare war on you, but you'll be able to get a butt ton of disasters, making use of your 4 Faces of Peace unique ability, receiving double Diplo favor from successfully completing an emergency or scored competition. You'll be getting a lot of them in Apocalypse mode, plus with all those militaristic civilizations, you will be getting a lot of, hey, this guy took out a city-state, let's free it, and you being the human player, shouldn't be too hard for you to complete that emergency. Finally, with Wilhelmina, the loyalty bonus, I'm fairly certain stacks. I'm 99% certain it used to. They might have changed it, but if you have a city that's about to rebel or something, put in 5 or 6 trade routes, and that should stem the tide. And yeah, you get 2 loyalty per trade route in your starting city. Radio Orange, it's a pretty cool ability, and yeah, definitely doesn't get the love it deserves. That is going to be it. If you guys have any other strategies I haven't talked about, might remake the video in a couple months using your strategy, so let me know down below in the comments what strategies you have for different civs or secret tips. And as always, if you have enjoyed, like the video, subscribe if you have not, and twitch.tv/civlife1 is my plug, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace. Huge shout out to my members, Cash Christian, Ben Ownby, John Blair, Jackson Perez, Polaris Gaming, Empyreum, Jeff Utzler, Kim Cosmos, and a really special shout out to my oh my god subscribers, Robert and Overflow of Amenities.